please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
I'm Arundhati Ramnan and you're watching Reporter's Diary. The crucial meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping has begun in Wuhan, China. The two leaders are holding informal talks ahead of the Shanghai Cooperation Summit that begins in June. We learned that no agreement will be signed during these talks. CNN News 18's Maha Siddiqui is joining us from Wuhan. Maha, what is the mood like? Do you see any optimism in terms of resolving key issues?
This will be Prime Minister Narendra Modi's fourth visit to China. In the past, he's even been hosted by Chinese President Xi Jinping at his hometown of Xi'an. But since then and now, a lot has changed, specifically the Doklam incident and India boycotting the Belt and Road Summit last year in May. This created a lot of strain in the relationship between India and China. And this informal meeting on the 27th evening and 28th morning is to dispel the misunderstandings between the two sides. No joint statement is expected, as has been told to us by our sources. However, both sides will look at a strategic communication to try and understand the domestic issues, sometimes compelling foreign policy making in the particular country. Meanwhile, this meeting is going to be held at Mao's villa in Wuhan, again holding a lot of significance because this indicates that China does hold optimism over here that things will get better between the two sides. India has a lot of outstanding issues with China as well, but specifics will not be flagged up in this meeting. This meeting is primarily to create trust between the two sides.
मैं मानता हूं कि दुनिया के 40% जनसंख्या का भला करने का दायित्व हमारे पर आया है और 40% जनता का भला करने का मतलब है विश्व को अनेक समस्याओं से मुक्ति दिलाने का एक सफल प्रयास है और उस महान उद्देश्य को लेकर के हमारा मिलना, साथ चलना और संकल्पों को पूरा करना ये अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा
And that's the latest from Modi's visit to China. But on to the big global story of the day. Kim Jong-un became the first North Korean leader to cross the border after the Korean War in the 50s. In a joint statement with South Korean President a short while ago, he said that he and his counterpart Moon Jae-in have begun writing a new history to usher in peace. Political headline of the day, the Congress party in Karnataka has released its 44-page manifesto just 2 weeks before the state goes to polls. The opinion polls are pointing to a cliffhanger, and the manifesto is laced with some dose of populism. Rukmini Rao joins us live from Mangalore, where the manifesto has been released. Rukmini, take us through the key promises made by the Congress.
Well, Congress has become, of course, the first party to release a manifesto with just less than 2 weeks left for polls, and also in a first for the party itself, it released the manifesto here in Mangalore instead of the state capital of Bengaluru. If we are to look at the top 5 takeaways from the manifesto, of course, big thrust on job creation. Congress has promised that they'll be looking at creating 1 crore jobs in the next 5 years at the rate of 15 to 20 lakh jobs annually. Also, it has doubled the outlay for irrigation. You know, water issue has been a perennial problem for the state, and the Congress has promised to spend close to 1.25 lakh crores in the next 5 years on irrigation projects. Also touching upon issues like complete digitization of the government mechanism and administration and usage of artificial intelligence, machine learning and big data analysis to make administration more effective. Also, the Congress government has gone on to give thrust to the IT sector and has said that it likes to expand the IT sector from the existing $60 billion revenues to $300 billion revenues in the next 5 years. Not last but the least, of course, you know, in a bid to attract young voters, it was laptops last time, and this time around they have promised to give smartphones to college students between the age of 18 to 23, which must be a hit with the young voters, I guess. Back to you.
The Prime Minister likes to tell people his Man Ki Baat. This manifesto contains the Man Ki Baat of the Karnataka people. And my commitment to you is that, like the last time, what we are saying in this manifesto is going to be done. In our last manifesto, almost 95% of things that we said have been done.
जहां तक मैनिफेस्टो की बात है, खोखला है, झूठे वायदे हैं, झूठ का पुलिंदा है। कांग्रेस का मैनिफेस्टो न दृष्टि है न दिशा है। आज किसान की आत्महत्या हुई है, बाल मृत्यु बढ़े है, अपराध बढ़ा है, भ्रष्टाचार बढ़ा है, उसके बारे में ना कोई स्टेटस पेपर है, ना कोई ये दिया है, क्षमा मांगी है।
Friday cheer on the Lal Strait as markets surged on the first day of the new series, ending at a 2-month closing high. The Nifty is at the kissing distance of the 10,700 mark. The Sensex too is 31 points shy of 35,000. Banks were the star performers today, led by a massive rally in Axis Bank. That index gained 1.5% in trade. Mid-caps too rallied 0.7% and regained the 20,000 mark. Anuj Singhal joins us now with a wrap of today's trading action. Anuj, bulls make merry on day one of the new series.
Big surge for the market on first day of new series, led by banking stocks and massive buying in Axis Bank. Not just short covering, looked a big cash market buying as well on Axis Bank. That was really a stock of the day as well. The Bank Nifty gainers today, SBI, ICICI, Canara Bank, all of them doing quite well. Of course, Canara no longer part of the Bank Nifty, but in banking stocks it did well. Index gainers, Reliance, Larsen & Toubro, Tata Motors, Reliance hitting a new high ahead of results. IT cooled off today. TCS, HCL, Tech Mahindra were all lower. There was some earnings impact in stocks like Maruti on the way down. Shriram Transport was quite volatile. Bandhan Bank reacted positively to earnings. In the F&O space, stock of the day today was PC Jewellers. Big down take on that stock. Reliance Naval and Interglobe as well were down. While on the gaining side, you had names like Andhra Bank, United Breweries and MRF, which is now approaching 1 lakh mark. A phenomenal move in some of these names. So all in all, it was a week in which the bulls have really gained their mojo back, at least on the Bank Nifty.
Absolutely. Lots of Friday cheer there on the Lal Strait. Thank you so much for taking us through those details, Anuj. On to all the earnings action of the day. Maruti Suzuki has reported its fourth quarter numbers. The auto major's operational performance has been weak and has missed expectations. Maruti's fourth quarter margins has missed street view, coming in at around 14%. An increase in other expenses, interest costs and employee costs had an adverse impact on its margins. However, on the revenue front, the company managed to top street expectation with a growth of 15%. Also, the company's realizations hit record highs at 4.58 lakh rupees per unit for the fourth quarter. And staying with earnings, Reliance Industries is expected to come out with its fourth quarter earnings a short while from now. The street is expecting the company's petchem business to drive growth this quarter. Sonia Shenoy is here with what the street is expecting. Sonia, over to you.
Well, thanks for that. This could be the first quarter when Reliance Industries posts a 10,000 crore quarterly profit. Of course, that depends on a couple of things. The petchem business for Reliance Industries is expected to do very well, and that could be the big growth driver for them this time around. But not just that, Rel Geo has been doing well. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, the profits have picked up quite a bit. So that's another important internal to watch out for. But as we know, just to quickly give you the expectations, three key verticals: petchem, refining and Rel Geo. On the refining side, the refining margins have been quite steady for the sector. So we're expecting about $11.4 a barrel for Reliance Industries this quarter versus gross refining margins of $11.6 a barrel last quarter. Now, the refining business EBIT, that's the earnings before the interest and tax, is expected to fall marginally to 5,900 odd crores. Now to the big growth driver, which is the petchem business. This time around, the petchem volumes have grown substantially. So in this quarter, 4.5 million tons of petchem volumes is what the company has delivered versus about 3.5 million tons same time last year. Even the quarterly run rate has improved. All of this will help the petchem EBIT grow by 12% quarter on quarter, coming in at somewhere around 6,400 crores. However, the wild card this quarter could be Rel Geo. Now remember, Rel Geo has gone and disrupted the market by cutting tariffs quite a bit in the quarter gone by. high. With this, their average revenue per user has gone down. It's impacted to 140 rupees versus an average of 150 to 155 rupees in the last few quarters. But this has been offset by higher subscriber additions for RelJio. So this time the subscribers have gone to 190 million users versus an average of around 140 to 160 in the past few quarters. So Kotak is expecting the profits for RelJio to come in at 812 crores versus 500 crores last quarter. So that's a 300 crore jump. However, some analysts believe that the RelJio profits could even be to the tune of 1,000 odd crores. If that comes through, that could be a big positive surprise for Reliance Industries. Back to you.
To the latest on the GST collections, the government is set to release data for GST mop-up during April on the 1st of May. This time, the GST collection figure may surpass the 1 lakh crore rupee mark. Remember, earlier this week, sources had told CNBC TV 18 that the GST mop-up for March, as of the 23rd of April, stood at over 96,000 crore rupees. Timsi Jaipuria joins us with more. Timsi, what can we expect from the data that's likely to be released on the 1st of May?
Well, the GST collections have been released today officially by the government from July 2017 till February 2018. And government feels that after seeing the numbers, the monthly average that has come during this 8-month period is at about 89,885 odd crore rupees. To break up the number, the government has received about 1.19 lakh crore rupees of CGST, 1.72 lakh crores of SGST and 3.66 lakh crores of IGST. Not just this, government officials indicated that government would now, from now onwards, that is from this current financial year, it will be releasing numbers on the 1st of every next month. Say for April numbers will be indicated on 1st May, and government's current cash position is quite comfortable. Having said that, government officials also indicated that the government has got about 20,000 odd crore rupees as an excess in the compensation cess pool, which would help government maintaining a comfortable position. Not just this, government also indicated that for a future trend, assessing a future trend of GST collections can be done only after seeing the figures of the first quarter of the current financial year. Government also feels that from this financial year onwards, government revenues will try and improve as the compliance improves, and government has tried to maintain that this year monthly average should be around 1 lakh odd crore rupees. Let's see what happens actually when the numbers finally come for the next financial year. But as of now, GST numbers looking quite good. Back to you.
So numbers are looking quite good as of now. Thank you so much for those details, Timsi. Moving on, liquor baron Vijay Mallya was in the UK court today for the hearing on India's request for his extradition. The court accepted all the evidences submitted by the CBI against Mallya, but the court will next hear the case on the 11th of July. We spoke to Vijay Mallya a short while back, just after the hearing. Listen in.
We asked for a final hearing to have oral submissions. That's it. That's not asking for time.
Another hearing.
But your team is still not asking for time.
Right.
Every case has closing submissions. And all we have said is, in addition to written submissions, we want a hearing to conclude our submissions orally. Nothing wrong in that at all. No delaying tactics. On the contrary, we requested an earlier date than what was being discussed.
On to some of the other headlines that we're tracking for you today. Senior advocate Indu Malhotra took oath as a judge of the Supreme Court. She is the first woman to be elevated to the post of Supreme Court judge directly from the bar. Remember, her appointment comes amid a row over the government's rejection of Uttarakhand Chief Justice K.M. Joseph's elevation. Malhotra has been a prominent senior advocate and is the 7th woman judge in the top court since independence. After the Supreme Court clarified that it had never issued directions for linking Aadhaar with mobile numbers, the government has rebutted that they did have the court's consent. The Attorney General stood firm and informed the court they would make a good submission that they were bound by the Supreme Court's order to link Aadhaar with mobiles. Staying with the court action, the Humsafar Trust has moved the Supreme Court against Section 377. The petitioners argued that consensual sex can't be criminalized and that the Supreme Court was wrong in upholding the archaic law. Remember, the apex court, comprising of a 9-judge bench, had overruled the Section 377 while it had said that people have the right to choose partners in the Hadia case. The Supreme Court has agreed to grant an urgent hearing on the petition on the 1st of May.